how to reset your mindset. In this video, I want to share with you some practical ways that you can put your mind in a different place so that you can create the success that you are looking for. But more of that in a moment. Are you the sort of person that gets distracted really easily? Are you the sort of person who starts things with great intentions, but only for your enthusiasm to kind of go out the back door after a few days of trying something different? Are you someone who struggles to really have a positive mental outlook? Because if you are, this video is for you. So let's get stuck in. How to reset your mindset. Well, let's first off look at the mind, and let's also look at mindset. What is the mind? Well, the mind really is your brain in action. So when we look at what your brain and your body is doing, it's often a direct result of what you're doing with your mind. So everything you think, everything you feel, everything you do is a direct result of what you do with your mind. Now, of course, there are many things that you do that you don't even need to think about. They happen unconsciously, without any thought at all. But there are many things that you do them because you've always done them, and you probably haven't really stopped to think about what is the long-term impact of what you're currently doing with your mind. And when we look at mindset, mindset really is, what is your mind set on? And most people's minds are set on futures they don't actually want. Now, I know that might sound a little strange to some people, but most people today are living what is known as a default future. So if we want to reset our mindset, we've got to stop and look at what we're currently doing with our mind. Look, what I invite you to do is to think of yourself as someone who's playing in an orchestra. Right now, you're playing some music, and there's a conductor that is just conducting the music that you're playing. But what I'd like you to do is to stop and think of yourself not as the person who's playing the music, but actually the conductor. And what is it that you're conducting? What are the results that you're producing with your mind? Look, for thousands of years, people have spoken about the power of mindfulness. And really, all mindfulness is about you becoming the conductor. It's about you stopping and looking at what you're currently doing, looking at the results that you're currently producing in your life. We are all interested in one thing. We're all interested in achieving goals. We are what the Greeks called teleological. What that means is we are target-orientated creatures. So if you open the fridge, why? If you turn on the television, if you're scrolling, looking at something on social media, why? It's because you want something. But what is it that you ultimately want? Now, of course, this is a really big question to ask, but these are questions I have to ask. Why? Well, I'm a coach. I've been coaching people for a very, very long time. And the role of a coach is to take someone from where they are to where they want to be. Now, is your mind set on who you want to be? No. Most people's minds are actually set on who they think they are. Most people's minds are set on who they were and who they're being, and what would happen if you carried on being who you're being right now. Is it possible that the reality that you want to create, with the goals that you maybe have, that you're trying to create a new personal reality with the same personality? What do you think happens if you keep doing that? Well, I can tell you, history will keep repeating itself because you're trying to create something with the same way of thinking. If you want to reset your mindset, of course, we've got to stop. We've got to look at what we're doing. We've got to look at the results that we're currently producing. So what are the results you're producing with your health right now and your energy? What are the results that you're producing with your relationships? What are the results you're producing with your wealth and your work? And please, 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 don't judge, don't criticize, don't analyze too much. It's just what you're doing. It's what you're doing with your mind. Now, this is where things really start to get really interesting, because what does the mind do? Well, it does many things, but does your mind play tricks on you? Have you ever tried to go to sleep at night and you're thinking about something that happened, or Did I leave the gas on? Did I leave the lights on downstairs? Is someone actually downstairs? Have you ever thought that someone is following you? Have you ever thought that someone's talking about you? Have you ever found your mind working overtime? Because if you have, guess what? You are not alone. The mind plays tricks on us. And unless we become the conductor, unless we stop and look at what we're currently doing, what most people will do is just do what they've always done. And this is one of the things I'm quoted in a number of books for saying, if you always do what you've always done, you're always going to get what you've always got. So look at the results that you're producing in your life and realize that your mind is just in the habit of you thinking and acting in certain ways. Can you change your mind? You could change your mind right now. You could press stop on this video and go do something else. Or you could continue to watch and be engaged and think, what could I do with our mind? Look, over 20 years ago, I wrote this book, Habit Busting, right? This is it published in English. This is it published in Korean. I don't actually understand what's in this book. But ultimately, it's all about breaking habits. And what's one of the greatest habits you will ever break? What's one of the greatest habits that you will ever take on? Would it be you stopping and becoming the conductor of your own thoughts and realize you can play a different tune here? You can think different things, you can feel different things, you can act in different ways. But it's imperative just to look at the results you're currently producing and think, what could I do with my mind? So I would like you to think of your mind like a channel, that you can channel it anywhere, like a tunnel, that you could tunnel it somewhere. But be very careful where you tunnel it, because wherever you tunnel it, it's going to do a good job for you. So that's why if you get distracted, and you're giving yourself distraction to do, your brain will look for more and more distraction. But what are you really looking for? See, the ultimate mindset, I believe, is to set your mind on who you want to become. And we've done many videos on this. All of the work that we do is around your relationship to your future self. So when we look at habits, why do we have them? This is really important that you take a moment to consider what I'm saying. Why do we have habits? Well, once upon a time, the human brain only weighed 1 pound and 1/4 ounces. Can you believe that? What does it weigh now? About 3 pounds. So it's big. And with its bigness are new structures. And part of one of those new structures is the part of our brain that is called the prefrontal cortex. If you decide to become the conductor and really start to pay attention to what you're doing with your mind, you'll realize that you actually have a part of you that can experience, you can simulate things in your mind before they actually happen. Why do we have this? To survive. Because thousands of years ago, we needed to start thinking about what we were going to do before we did it, because maybe that thing that we were going to do, it might result in success or it might result in our death. Now, if I said to you, hey, I'm going to teach you how to fly a plane, just get in a plane, turn the ignition on, let's go. How many of you are going to go, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm not sure if I want to do that. Can I go in a flight simulator first? Of course. Why would you do that? Because it would give you the experience of flying, but not flying for real. It would seem real. And this is the thing we can do with our mind. We can create new realities. You can use this part of your brain to think about, if you did X, Y, and Z, you behaved in a new way, you create a different version of yourself. Most people's minds are set on who they were, who they are, and it's going to take them to a place they don't want to go. It's called a default future. So is it easy to change? Is it easy to start watching and observing yourself? Yes and no. Why yes? Because it doesn't require too much effort. You're not having to do things that are very complicated. But in many cases, you're going to have to do things that are a bit boring. Let me ask you a question. Do you write with your left or your right hand? Probably your right, but maybe like me, you write with your left. If I said to you, listen, I want you to start writing with your other hand, you're probably going to go, why? Well, if you do, your life is going to really change and everything is going to be amazing. You might go, I don't believe you. But what if you did believe me and you decided to start writing with your other hand? Well, you probably realize that it was difficult and you didn't get very far with it to start off with. If I try to write my name here, you probably can't actually even read what that says. But what if I practice doing it? This is what it takes to reset our mindset. It's often what we do every single day, that if we do it consistently over an extended period of time, we get really good at it. And we live in a world right now where most people aren't prepared to invest in a future that they don't know. Most people are not prepared in doing mundane things every day that over time lead to sublime things. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to think about what is an area of your life you would like to improve. And then think about investing 1% of your day. 1% of your day. How much is that in time? It's 14 minutes and 24 seconds. What could you do for 14 minutes and 24 seconds every single day, that if you did it every single day, you would trick your mind into you becoming a different version, becoming a better version of yourself? Do you have 1%? Of course you have 1%. But are you ready to reset your mindset? Are you ready to put your mind on the person that you want to become? Look, I created another YouTube video, which is my #1 success secret, which dives deeper into this concept of future self. And I really want you to watch that video right here, right now. Are you ready to reset your mindset? Are you ready to see a future that you want to go out and create? Because if you are, watch that video right now and prove to yourself and prove to the world that the best is yet to come.